Shalom. First, giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makar Kadash. Salutations to the 1/3 and the hopeful elect, outspreading this word in spirit and in truth and in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, to the Akwath and the Akim, and to all of the men out there spreading this word in spirit and truth. All right. I was asked not too long ago about, am I sure I'm an Israelite? And, I mean, if you don't know by now, you're never going to know, but, you know, it's just an honest question. Some people still can't get it through their head that they're an Israelite, you know? And this is how powerful media is, all right? Media is very powerful. They show you images, and these images, they keep you, they keep your mind, all right? And they make you see things that are just not true, and they make you believe it. That's why it's called make-believe, you know? They'll make you believe some things, all right? That's the magic of Hollywood, you know what I mean? And the reason they call it Hollywood is because Hollywood is designed after a long stick that magicians use called hollow wood. And that the long stick is what they use to cast spells, you know? That's what's called Hollywood, hollow wood. It's a magician that uses a magic stick to, you know, cast spells on you, and that's what Hollywood does. That's why they call them Hollywood, all right? And they've got you believing that the original Jews, a bunch of stringy-haired white boys, all right, Edomites, and, you know, they believe that, they want you to believe that they're the people of the book, but they're not. And there's overwhelming evidence, all right, in the scriptures to support that. So it's just a little quick impromptu video today. If you're out there struggling with your identity and you think that you're not an Israelite, especially you so-called African Americans, all right, then I just got a couple of scriptures for you to marinate on, you know, and then we'll make the point and we'll be out, all right? So if you think you're not an Israelite and you think all the Israelites were, you know, little white boys and everything like that, then let's check out a few scriptures, all right? It's Leviticus. Let's go to the book of Leviticus, all right? Chapter 2. And Leviticus chapter 2 is dealing with meat offerings, all right? Let's start at verse 1. These are the Levites. The Levites were in charge of the services of the temple, all right? Now, I want you to hear this, and I want you to tell me if you think that the Levites were some white boys, all right? Tell me who this sounds like. It's Leviticus chapter 2, verse 1. And when any will offer a meat offering unto the Lord, his offering shall be of fine flour, and he shall pour oil upon it, and put frankincense thereon. So, this had to do with meat offerings, all right? Now, I want to jump down to verse 6, all right? This is what it says to do with the meat offering. Thou shalt part it in pieces and pour oil thereon. It is a meat offering. Verse 7. And if thy oblation be a meat offering, which is your sacrifice, baken in the frying pan, it shall be made of fine flour with oil. Okay, so let's just say you get a chicken. Verse 6 says, thou shalt part it in pieces. All right, get a little knife like this. Okay, cut the chicken up. All right, got your legs, thighs, breasts, wings, right? And then it says you put it in flour. right? Shake it up. And then you put it in a pan with oil and you fry it. Now, who does that? Who's known for eating fried chicken or fried fish? All right? Who's known for that? Just a question. If you go to the hood, any neighborhood, I mean, where pretty much ghetto, it don't have to be South Central where I grew up, or Compton or Watts, It could be in New York, Baltimore, all right? Anywhere there's so-called blacks, right? What do you find a lot of? Besides liquor stores, right? You find fried chicken places, right? Well, where do you think they get it from? They know what we like to eat. So they build plenty of Popeyes, Kentucky Fried Chicken. If you're lucky, you get a Golden Bird. Churches, Jim Dandy's, all of that, right? So this recipe is still being used. Leviticus chapter 2, verse 6 and 7. Part it in pieces, pour oil on it as a meat offering. If thy oblation be a meat offering, bake it in a frying pan, it shall be made with fine flour with oil. Talk about fried chicken. All right? Now, that's clue number 1. Number 2. All right? We're going to go for the throat. Let's go to Acts chapter 13. Acts chapter 13, verse 1. All right? So listen very good. It says, this is talking about, the Apostle Paul and his homies. All right? Now there were in the church that was at Antioch, all right, certain prophets and teachers as Barnabas and Simeon that were called Niger, and Lucius of Cyrene and Manaen, which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch and Saul. So they were called Niger. It's right there. Acts 13 and 1. Now, these men were called nigger. They like eating chicken. And they still calling us nigger. And they still cracking their chicken jokes. I mean, what more proof do you need? And you still think you're not an Israelite? They don't call Africans niggers because Africans aren't niggers. All right? Nigger is just another word, Latin word for black. Okay? Nigger is just another word for black. In fact, let me punch it up. Yeah. Nigger. All right. It's a Latin origin, and it means black. And if you don't want to take my word for it, if you want to Google it, all you have to do is go to your Google search engine and punch in the letter G. All right. Punch in the letter G. 3526. That's all you got to put. Uppercase G 3526 and hit search, and the word nigger is going to pop up and it's going to tell you what it means. It just means black. Now, what do they call us? Black. Right? Nigger. Chicken. Okay? I mean, I could go on and on and on, And for our Latinos and Native American brothers, there's other supporting scriptures for you. Let's go to 1 Chronicles chapter 12, all right, verse 8. Now, this is just a brief description of the Gadites. And Gadites are the North American Indians, your Sioux, Blackfoot Indians, Indians like Crazy Horse, Indians like that. Those were Gadites. Sitting Bull, okay. These were Gadites. Now, this is what the scripture says about Gadites. All right. First Chronicles 12 and 8. And of the Gadites there separated themselves unto David, unto the hold, to the wilderness men of might, and men of war fit for the battle, that could handle shield and buckler, whose faces were like the faces of lions, and were as swift as the roes upon the mountains. All right? They could handle shield and buckler. All right? These men were fit for war. How long did the U.S. cavalry have to fight the North American Indians for this land? For decades. It took a long time to subdue Gad, man, because they're men of war. And they only won because the Most High put a curse on them to lose. All right? And it was prophesied. Let's go to Genesis chapter 49. Genesis chapter 49. All right. This is what it says is going to happen to the tribe of Gad. It says this is Genesis 49 verse 19. It says, Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. So it's prophesied that Gad was going to be overcome by a troop. When did that happen? It happened after the northern kingdom got here. All right, the Edomites arrived in the form of the colonials, all right, the colonists, and they were overcome by the U.S. cavalry, all right, or the troop. They were called troopers. They wore blue coats, all right. So that prophecy came to pass. So this is how we know who's who. Now, I won't go through all 12 tribes, all right. But those are just two examples just to prove to you that we are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of, all right. If you're so-called African American, which I hate that term, you will be from the tribe of Judah. All right. Now let me just get a little description on a Judite. It says Genesis 49 and 8. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. All right. So Judah is the lead tribe. That's the so-called black man. And he's the lead tribe because Yahushua comes from that tribe. That's right here. It says, the scepter shall not depart from Judah. This is verse 10. Nor a lawgiver from between his feet. All right. So Judah is the priestly tribe. All right. But in the kingdom, all tribes of all men from the 12 tribes are going to be kings and priests. All right. But right now, Judah and forever will always be the lead tribe because Yahushua, the son of Yahweh, comes from that tribe. And if you look all over the world, the so-called black man is on the bottom of everything. He's the most hated, but the most imitated. Everything that a Judite gets into, they win it. All right. You look at Jackie Robinson, Willie Mays, and all of them that entered into the major leagues in baseball. All right. When they crossed over and started letting so-called blacks, which are nothing but Israelites, in the basketball league, went from the ABA to the NBA. All right. You look at music, TV, art, inventions, everything they've stolen from us. Okay. We're the kings of the earth, man. But we're treated like shit all the time. They take things from us and then they attach their name to it like they're the ones that did it. Even within our own kingdom, man. Right now, the Northern Kingdom hates us. The so-called Latinos, which are Mexicans, Puerto Ricans. All right. They don't have any love for us. When you're on the job, A lot of these Mexicans will stab you in the back faster than a cracker would. Okay, because right now there's dissension. But when Yahweh comes back, he's going to seal up those breaches. He's doing that now. Okay, the so-called Northern Kingdom that are waking up, we have nothing but love for them. All right, but for the so-called niggers and spics and Mexicans and paisas and wetbacks, no, we don't get along with them, man, because they're still under that curse, and they're not looking at things spiritually. They don't know who they are, so naturally they're going to hate us. Okay, but you can find the most racist so-called Mexican anywhere, but I guarantee you he's going to be a Raider fan, and he'll have on a damn Khalil Mack jersey, all right, or he'll have on a Beast Mode jersey, okay, or he'll be wearing a Kobe jersey, all right, number 8, okay. Those are Judites, and they claim to hate so-called black men and niggers, all right, but then he's sitting there sporting a jersey, all right. That's why this says right here, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Now they hate us, okay, but they don't mind wearing a jersey that represents the greatness that we bring to the sports world, okay. So that's scripture being fulfilled right there, all right. Some of these rappers, even though they wicked as hell, man, I mean, they selling out stadiums, man. That's why Yahweh said that we are the salt of the earth, man. We are. We add flavor to everything. Music, TV. All right, we're the world's greatest show-offs. That's why we'll spend our last, a Judite woman will spend her last $100 to buy a hat just to go to one of these stupid churches because she care about how she look. We're the world's greatest show-offs, right? And that's basically what the scripture's saying, and it's confirmed through our actions. All right, so if you're having problems, struggling, thinking that you're not from the nation or you're not an Israelite, you need to stop it, man. All right? But I'm going to close out with this. Okay? This is Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. All right? This is the biggest prophecy that came to pass to prove that we are the Israelites. This was prophesied to Moses thousands of years before it went down. Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Egypt meaning bondage, not the country Egypt. Country of Egypt's real name was Mitzrayim, okay? Which means bondage. But Egypt means bondage. That was the name of that region, Mitzrayim, all right? He's going to bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. See what? It's talking about our homeland, Jerusalem. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies. Who's our enemies? Esau and the other nations. For bondmen and bondwomen, and no one shall buy you. Meaning they won't buy our freedom. We're still slaves. Okay? We're not free. Not by a long shot. Just because you can get up and go to the movies or go to Walmart and buy your cologne or your TV or whatever you're doing, you get them to go to work, you're not free. Try to leave this country without a passport and see what happened to you. All right? You are stuck here. All right? This government owns your ass. Okay? So that should be enough right there. I believe the point was made. Okay? If that's not enough information for you, man, then it just means that the Most High is not dealing with you. All the hell you're going through. We're broke. Everybody hates us. Our men are looking like women. Our women are looking like men. All right? Cops is killing us down in the street. I mean, what more proof do you need, man? But anyway, the point is made. If you're questioning your nationality after this, I don't know what else to tell you. All right? So I just want to close out by saying all praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Akar Kadash. Till next time, Matathias out.